nuke deal. Let me ask you this, since you bring up Russia.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that you have to put some type of disclaimer because of the whole tenant thing, or no?
No. I never received money from Russia. We never were given any money to create anything. Tenant Media and
it was all laundered through Tenant Media. I mean, obviously you didn't get you weren't getting paid in rubles.
So I can try and I'll keep it real simple. You have sponsors on your show. Did you ever ask who their investors are? Did you?
The sponsors?
Yeah, like a company comes to you and says, "We want to, have you shout us out or something." Do you like look into their financiers? Do you dig through their bank accounts?
I mean, we get it all from media brokers, but they weren't advertising on your show. They were.
No, it was
they were paying you a license deal.
A license fee.
Yeah.
So I licensed to Nat Geo. I never asked them who their investors were.
Who? National Geographic?
Yeah.
National Geographic was taking Tim Pool's videos. There's no way, right? What the fuck? What the fuck could he possibly sell them? Like, what would National Geographic syndicate from like the Tim Pool show?
When I license through like all these other big distributors, someone comes to me, they say, "We want a license." It goes to our lawyer. Our lawyer comes back, says, "Here's the agreed upon fee." I say, "Thank you and have a nice day," and then we move on.
So was it just Ruben who asked who Gerard Depardieu or whatever that guy's name was?
I don't know.
Gerard Depardieu. Catching strays. French cinematic actor Gerard Depardieu catching a random stray in this conversation, in this debate, is not something that I thought was going to happen. Okay.
What Dave did or anybody else did?
Did you ask about who that guy was?
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy is...
Well, wait a second. Why did you ask about who that guy was?
Wanted to know. Isn't that due diligence?
Yeah, but you just said you don't ask who the investors are.
No, I said, do you? Like, do you dig into all of these things?
I've never actually been approached with anything even remotely like that.
So when I got reached out to like by Discovery and Nat Geo, I said, I'm familiar with what this is. It's
oh
whatever.
yeah, no. If I mean, I licensed my show to Peacock, and
right, you know what they are.
Well, yeah. I mean, National Geographic is a well-known thing. But if somebody comes in and says like, we're going to give you that kind of money for your programming, I'd be like,
how much money do you make on Majority Report?
Fuck is that?
How much money do you make on Majority Report?
How much do I make from on our revenue from the whole show?
All of it, 100%.
I mean, it's six
figures a
month? Revenue, yeah,
per month.
Yeah.
Damn.
So why were you?
6 figures. Yeah.
So you're over 100K per month on Majority Report.
I think. Well, I mean, some months. I mean, certainly the past couple of months have been really good. Some months are a little bit less.
I think you do a majority. I don't know about your other channels, but you do about 20 million per month in views.
Other channels?
Like, I don't know if you have other shows. I'm saying
no.
Majority Report does about 20 million.
That's it.
And with 20 million views per month, you do over 6 figures.
We had 20 million views for 2 months this year.
If you do 20 million views per month, I think is your YouTube metric.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit less now, but okay.
Oh yeah. If a company came to you and wanted to license the show, which would...
I can tell you Peacock licensed a Majority Report. We were on Peacock for a year.
You want to say what they gave you?
I will tell you this. From what I read, you made more in a month than we made in a year.
Maybe that's just bad business on your part, I guess.
Maybe.
So,
or maybe it turns out that they were just a company who had metrics as opposed to like we're trying to get propaganda.
No, I think...
See, I have a theory
so I can tell you how much money we make at this company, right?
I would imagine it's millions.
Million per month, maybe.
Okay.
So when a company comes to me and says, we want to have you, who makes, as a company, $1 million a month, a show in which we will have a non-exclusive distribution, but takes the branding, then we're going to say, in 1 or 2 years, how much do we make on this show per month? Well, it's in excess of $400,000.
This was a new show. This was this show, right?
Well, so there's a few caveats. This channel is my first channel. It's got 1.35 million subscribers. It used to be my biggest channel where I would routinely get 500,000 to 1 million per video, or maybe like 600.
Do you believe Tim's show makes $1 million a month? I wouldn't be shocked. Right wingers have incredibly deep pockets. Like, I wouldn't be shocked about that. Like, because there are no restrictions. They do the shittiest ads. They take as many ads as possible. They have financiers as well on top of everything else. And they say left grifting is profitable. Yeah, I know. They say that because there is I mean, that is also a part of the right-wing grifting, to be like, left-wing grifting is so profitable. Except everyone that wants to make more money ends up turning right-wing, weirdly enough, either on certain issues or across the board. But like, right-wing content right-wing content is catnip for the algorithm. That much is also true. Like, it sucks. It's just the reality, right? Like, there is not really anything you can do about it either. Like, these algorithms unironically boost right-wing shit like crazy. Like, Patrick Bet David. I am currently, as it stands, I think 400. I just looked up my Social Blade stats. 457th in the news rank in the country. I'm the largest left-wing content creator, like, in North America. Largest progressive content creator in North America. And there is, like, I'm nowhere near close in terms of, like, how much more, how many more unimaginably successful right-wing content creators are. And when there is more, or when there are even more right-wing content creators, there's more, you get boosted in the algorithm. Like, the fact that there are a shit ton of channels like that makes it, the fact that there are a shit ton of channels such as that, like right-wing channels, also boosts other right-wing content creators as well. So I don't think it's that crazy that he makes $1 million. But the reason why he's mentioning the Russian, like, the payments that he got is to be like, oh, well, I'm so successful that, like, of course it makes sense that they would give me, like, some random company would give me, you know, $1 million a month to just, like, license out my content. The problem, on the other hand, is that you were also saying stuff like Ukraine is the enemy of mankind and shit. So, like, where did that come from? Like, it almost feels like you did know that you were getting paid by Russia and were changing your commentary specifically for that.
100,000 per video on certain shows. And then we're talking about doing a show like this where you'll get, you know, you have 1.5 million subscribers. I've got 1 million+ subscribers, or with the other channels, it's big names coming, doing these debates tends to attract a lot of sponsorship. So,
have you had any other deals like this?
Yes.
Oh, you have had other deals like this.
So,
because I seem to remember you saying to Emma that you had not, that it was just all from members, or you didn't have any, like, backing.
Sponsors. There's no backers, right?
Well, a license deal is not a sponsorship. Like, I mean, I have sponsors.
Sales.
Like, I have. Well, it's different.
No one has come to this company. Let's clarify.
Hello Tushy comes and says we want to sell bidets.
Here's the difference.
I do an ad, but I don't have a license.
No one has come to my companies, plural, and said, I will give you X in exchange for X in terms of the production of content or a stake in the company. We have no investors. We have no backing. We have sales.
Have you had other license deals like that? I'm not talking about a sponsor. Tenet Media was not a sponsor.
It was a non-exclusive distribution license.
Yeah, it was a license deal. Yeah. No, I get that.
So
have you had other license deals like that?
Yes. And so this is not
With who? Is it another? I mean, I'm just curious.
Well, I got to wait because some of these deals are still in contract negotiations, so I can't.
Oh, so you didn't have any prior to the tenant, or you did?
I have licensed content to big networks. We have explicitly and on a low scale.
Prior to this, you had licensed it to other big networks.
I'm confused as what I have licensed my content to other big networks
Prior to the tenant deal.
Yes.
Oh,
and we also
what were those networks?
so like Nat Geo and Discovery when they hired me for content.
No,
or
I'm
when they
talking
bought
about
content.
these shows. I'm not talking about when you were, I'm talking about, the whole Timcast world.
Before Tenet, there were 3 negotiations currently taking place, and I can't say too much because I can't violate other contracts. Offers were made.
You're not supposed to tell who you're licensing to?
When you are in contract negotiations, first, you don't go out and just say, "Hey, guess what? This company's offering me right now."
No, of course not. Of course not. I'm not asking what you're in negotiations for the future. I'm saying prior.
All right, so let me finish. Yes.
Prior to Tenant Media.
Okay.
Had you had any other license deals?
License deals presented that were comparable, and one was chosen.
Okay, so
And some are ongoing.
so you never had any other deals. People had proposed them to you, but you'd never
with
signed
higher
a deal.
rates. We were offered more money from other companies.
And you went with Tenant
Yes.
for a license deal.
I was offered a license agreement for comparable. I try to keep it vague, I guess, because
So just to be clear, you never signed another deal before Tenant. You had never had a license deal prior to that as Timcast.
No. Okay, look. Yes, I did. I said it like 5 times now.
Oh,
I've licensed content to a ton of networks.
I was just curious as to what networks those were. I don't know why you're getting so upset.
Because I've said it 5 times. You keep asking the same question over and over again.
Wait, no, he didn't. He just said Nat Geo.
You said Nat Geo. And,
So I've licensed content to like Discovery, Net Geo, and then there's media buyers who
but
do
not
general-
as Timcast. Not
Yes, just quite literally as Timcast from this channel.
Damn,
Oh,
he's
really?
getting fucking hella mad. Bro, yo, chill. This is supposed to be a reasonable, dare I say, friendly discussion. You asked Sam Seder about how much money he fucking makes every month, and he responded kindly. He didn't fucking start yelling. Why is he getting so defensive? Goddamn. Goddamn.
Geo. Okay.
Yes, and I've even appeared on their networks. So I can say it a million times. We were dealing with negotiations. We give the deal to our lawyers. Our lawyers come back and say, "Looks good," and then we start.
Okay.
The show already existed.
Yeah. No, I never thought that you were in the bag for. Well, I mean, I never
Russia's a
thought that
bunch
you
of
were
scumbags.
telling you what to do. I just thought it was.
I think the funniest question should be, in this circumstance, do you think it's the patriotic thing to take all the money that you've gotten from the Russian government, as the FBI correctly pointed out, and give it to Ukrainian charities? Do you feel like that would be the patriotic thing to do? Take all of the money that the Russian government has given you. Do you feel like that would be the right, appropriate thing to do? And give it directly to Ukrainian charities, especially after you called Ukraine the enemy of mankind. I would want to know what his answer to that would be. I think that'd be funny.
Was a lot of money to be getting, and not asking who Gerard Depardieu was, or whatever the guy's name, Gregorian.
So the issue I think is worthy of clarification is like you yourself make 6 figures a month on your show.
Well, that's our revenue of the show. I don't make that.
Right, the revenue of this show and otherwise, like $1 million doesn't go in my pocket every month, but we have staff and we have employees, and so it's around there. So when a company comes, and we had several, and they say, "This is huge," we had a $30
Are
million
you back in
offer.
negotiations with those people?
Yes,
I would imagine.
especially considering
It feels like you've had to, like, what was this whole thing? Were you shutting down the show? Or
that's exactly what I was going to say. Right, like I can't be the CEO, the principal talent, and a dad. It's already difficult to
So
do.
maybe I'm not such a bad businessman.
Maybe you're a good dad.
I got 2 kids, and but whatever. That's it.
Well, like I've got to record 4 shows today. You know, and that's an impossibility with a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like last week, I'm like, I can keep doing the morning show because that will keep me occupied.
You
Until
shut down your news operation too, didn't you?
Scanner is still in operation, but it's like.
Didn't you have like a news like a website or something?
Yeah, we still do. And so there was we did Timcast News for a while, and then we had another company called Scanner that we are trying to get off the ground, and it's still there, but we're in a holding pattern. Content is still being produced for Scanner, but we have to figure out, like, here's the reality, man. News articles, the news media is a very, very difficult thing to monetize.
Very tough. Very tough.
You can write articles all day and night. You can send reporters on the ground, which we do, and then figuring out how to make that sustainable is incredibly difficult. And it gets to that point where, we can't. But I will say, in regards to what happened Monday, last week, oh yeah. One of the offers we got was $30 million. And it comes with caveats. And so we go to these other companies and say, what are your terms? What are your offers? What are your terms? What are your offers? And then ultimately Tenet we were like, we'll go with them. That's whatever. We go to our lawyer goes through it. We say, all right.
Tenet didn't pay $30 million, did they?
No.
Sounds like they paid a hefty amount. I mean, if you're Dave Rubin, what do you think about that? Like, I mean, if you're Dave Rubin and somebody says, we're going to give you $100,000 a video, doesn't that like make you go like, what's up with this?
No, because what's interesting in the indictment is you can see that independent of each other, several people made the same negotiations. A lot of this goes through agents, and agents go to a market standard rate when you're negotiating.
I mean, I understand. I mean, I've dealt with agents, but I mean,
but you don't set your price. I mean, your agent's going to tell you what you're going to be able to get from something, right? Or do you go to your agent? You could go to your agent and say, I'll only do the job for this amount. I get it, but
there's, in my mind, very little shot that Tim did not know that he was getting paid by Russia. I do not. I'm sorry. Like, there is just no. Like, no. Especially because of that famous clip. Like, that clip alone to me is like, that's, like this is it, brother. This is pretty.
Ukraine, they know it. But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind.
Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and the world. Like, Ukraine is the greatest threat to the nation and the world. That is insane, dude. Like,
and all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
I didn't even. We should apologize to Russia. We should apologize to Russia for invading Ukraine. Like, as you guys know, I have had, I would say, a fairly reasonable, fairly rational take on trying to find a long-standing peaceful solution to the unjustifiable, immoral, barbaric invasion of Ukraine conducted by the Russian government. And it's like, and yet, of course, many people have said time and time again that I am pro-Russia over and over again. Those people have never really listened to what I have to say, I think, because if you have ever listened to me talk about Russia's invasion of Ukraine, I have consistently maintained the position that it is completely unacceptable. This is the most insane thing I've ever heard. We must apologize to Russia. Like, come on, dude. That is incredible stuff.
Usually there's, it's going to be like, look, this is the kind of job that's going to pay a range of here. The company's got this much. Here's what you're going to be able to get for it. So, for instance, like 500,000 views might be $10,000 in ads, right?
Okay.
That's market standard. So if you're talking CPM and I call like an ad sales guy and they say, hey, this company wants to sponsor you, you get 500,000 on the show, they're going to give you $10,000. I can say, right, that's the market range. And so then I might try and argue a premium and be like, well, I'm Tim Pool, so I think you should give me 15. And then they'll come back and say, no.
We're not talking about sponsorships.
We're talking about the value of a license agreement where a company would have the ability to run sponsorships on their end. Right. So if we're talking about, say, Timcast IRL in the morning show, which we do around $1 million in revenue per month, then a comparable show is you're going to say this when you're licensing a show. If we run the show by ourselves for a year or two, then here's how much we're going to generate in sponsorships, memberships, et cetera, by the end of year 2, 3, 4, and 5. If we do a license deal, we jump the gun. We generate lesser revenue than we would in the long term, but it closes the gap sooner.
No, I get it. I understand why you would take it. I would take that money if somebody came to me and offered that, but I would be like, wait, what's going on here?
But you would be, I mean, we have 3 different companies coming at us. They're all known American enterprises. I mean, I will say one thing too, like Lauren Chen's was working at the Blaze. You know what I mean? This is not like some strange person appeared out of nowhere.
It raises questions to me about
the Blaze.
I mean, I think, it's quite clear to me that, there was reports about like, in the run up to the election, George Santos was on a Zoom call where people were getting paid at least $20,000 to put out stuff that Kamala Harris was a slut on their social media and stuff like that. And I'm like, I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's not a huge amount of competition on the left. Nobody's ever offered me $5 to do anything like that.
Let me let you in on the secret. This has been true for a long time. So your revenue for Majority Report, is it largely YouTube based, or do you do like ad reads as well?
It's ad reads, it's members, it's YouTube.
You have YouTube programmatic, so do we. Like programmatic ads means like your YouTube channel will show you how much you made from YouTube's ads.
Yes.
So Russia can go on your YouTube channel through Google Ads and put $10,000 a month into your channel without you knowing.
Okay.
And you'd have no way to track or control any of that. So this.
It's okay. This
does happen though, where.
So this in and of itself is not an appropriate argument because the responsibility is in the hands of YouTube, to ensure that this does not happen. And they do already have protections against that sort of thing. You got directly paid for your content and maybe even the actual contents of your content. Oh shit.